Hey, what's up? It's FeedbackReviews here, and basically I'm here to give you my new review of the new Strokes album, Angles. Alright, so I've been a big fan of the Strokes for a while. I absolutely love Is This It? Is This It is one of my favorite albums of all time, and unquestionably my favorite album of the 2000s decade. I think it's a fantastic album. I don't think there's any flaws. Then after that, they made Room on Fire. Room on Fire I really loved as well. I don't think it's a perfect album, but I do think it's actually pretty good. Then after that, they made First Impressions of Earth. First Impressions of Earth, I want to say, is just a big failure. I don't think it's a bad album, alright, but it just kind of fails at, I'd say, what it tried to accomplish, and I think that they're trying to do a bunch of other things. And aside from the one B-side, I'll Try Anything Once, I don't think that a lot of the songs from that whole album period really worked. You know, but it's not, I don't think it's a bad album, I just don't think it really worked. Alright, and their new album, again, Angles, has been kind of dividing some critics, and I'm basically here to give you my opinion on it. Alright, first off, this album, I'm just gonna tell you right up, it's not very good. Alright? It's not very good. However, it's not that bad, and I do think that there's a good amount of things to like in it. First off, some of the songs are really great. Machu Picchu is really good. Undercover of Darkness is getting to be one of my favorite songs of the year. You're So Right is actually not that bad. Taken for a Fool is good, Gratisfaction is really good. Even Two Kinds of Happiness, which I think on a level of composition is one of the worst songs, probably one of the more weaker songs off of the album. However, I do think that it's actually a pretty good listen, though. I do think it's a very enjoyable song. You see, that's the problem with this album. Even though it's a really enjoyable album, the album as a whole just kind of feels like a bunch of random ideas being thrown out, rather than them actually deciding as to what they want to do with this album, what they want to accomplish. They experiment. This album doesn't really get back to the old Is This It sounds, but I will say that I think some of the songs, like Undercover of Darkness, sound very similar to Is This It, which is why Undercover of Darkness is my favorite track off the album and one of my favorite tracks of the year. Alright. Again, I do like some of the songs. Machu Picchu is really good. Undercover of Darkness is great. You're So Right is actually not that bad either. Taken for a Fool is pretty good. Gratisfaction, really good. Call Me Back, you know what? I like Call Me Back. I do think it's kind of weak, but it's actually pretty good. But the problem is, almost every single track just feels like a little jam session, rather than it feel like they're actually trying to put effort into the album, which essentially is a flaw. I did like this album on a lot of levels, and, I can't say that it's a bad album, because, I love the Strokes, okay? I love Is This It to death. It's seriously a phenomenal album. But, I mean, it's kind of a shame to see them go from, Is This It to First Impressions of Earth, and now from First Impressions of Earth to this. I will say that this is definitely a better album than First Impressions of Earth, but as a whole, it doesn't really work on the levels of how a lot of albums work, which is my problem with it. Again, I did like this album, and I do like a lot of the songs off of it, but as a whole, it's kind of a mess. It's definitely flawed, but you know what? I liked it, and I do think some people really like it, because, the album isn't just completely bad. There's actually some really good tracks in here. Again, like Undercover of Darkness, Machu Picchu, and others that I listed. But, even with the good tracks, I'd say that even on, like, a track like, for instance, Two Kinds of Happiness, two kinds of happiness. Even though it works, it just feels like they're just trying a bunch of different things on it and seeing how well it works, just like a little jam session in a garage, rather than it feeling like Is This It, where they put in their heart and soul into the album, where they put in complete effort. This album doesn't feel like that at all. So I'm gonna give Angles a 6.5 out of 10. I do recommend it because, you know what, some of the tracks are actually pretty good, but don't expect a masterpiece, because, you know, it's not really that good. I'm Feedback Reviews. Look forward to some more album reviews in the future. If new Foo Fighters comes out, I'll review that, and some other stuff comes out, I'll review those. But yeah, thank you, Feedback Reviews. Peace, and let me know what you think of it in the comments. Alright, bye.